Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm continuing to work on my Margarete Miller monthly collage planner, where she gives you prompts each week of random items to try to put together and make a little collage. And again, I am trying really hard just to use supplies that are in my stash. I try not to print anything off or go out and buy anything new to complete the collage, and so far I've done pretty well. I think the only thing that I've grabbed was a free encyclopedia, and that was for an earlier collage that I had picked up at the thrift store for free. But other than that, I have used everything that's in my stash. I haven't printed off anything new, and so I've been having fun with it. And again, if you open up the description box, I do have hashtags listed, so you can easily find the hashtags if you are interested in seeing what other people are creating with this week's assignment. And for this week's assignment, we were to choose something that emits heat, and a couple things that came to mind, of course, are like a stove or a fireplace or like a little fire. And somewhere in my stash I do have a fireplace for like Christmas time with Santa Claus, but then I remembered I still had these sun charms sitting out on my desk from last week's prompts for the sun and the moon. And so I just decided to use that for something that emits heat. So that's going to be my something that emits heat is the sun. The next one was a pair of something. And so I thought, well, right away in my head, I thought a pair of birds. So I went and looked into my stash of bird cutting dies. And then I also have some bird books. But I wanted to use a cutting die because it's been a while since I've used a cutting die. And I chose this one. It's a crane pair, and it comes from 2D Designs. And I already cut them out. And I cut them out in black. And I chose this one just because I have not used these cutting dies for my stash until this project. There were some that I picked up at a rummage sale, and I really like them, but I just haven't had an opportunity to use them. So this is the first time I'm using them. And so that's my pair of something. And the other thing that I thought I could have used too was like a pair of shoes or something. But again, I just had in my head a pair of birds. The next one was a face, and I have a couple rubber stamps of faces. Of course, you could use a picture that has a face in it or something like this. And this is one of my favorite rubber stamps from a long time ago. I think it was one of my first, probably 20, 30 stamps that I bought. And this one came from Stamp Francisco. It's a really old stamp, but it's well loved, but I do like it. It's been a long time since I've used it, so it's always fun to dig that out. And so I did already go ahead and I did stamp it on a scrap piece of scrapbooking paper. And then I used a circle die cut, and then I decided since I had cut out the cranes in black and I still had black cardstock sitting out, that I would go ahead and just frame that face. So I did do that. And then the next thing was something royal. And so I had pulled out stickers for a previous prompt, and I had pulled these ones out too as a possibility, but never showed them to you. But these ones have little crowns on them. And so I thought that's kind of royal, a crown. And then it said a bit of green, so I pulled out a piece of scrapbooking paper. And then the bonus was a text other than English or your native language. And when I was going through some of my scraps of like textbook paper, I had this one scrap left, and I know I had gotten this in a design team package from Angel Dreams Crafts Kim on Etsy, and it's German. It's a really old vintage paper from a book, and I thought I didn't have any more of that left, but so I was surprised when I found it when I was going through my stash, and it's one of my favorite papers. I just love the texture to it, and it happened to fit on this scrap piece of paper pretty close to perfect, so I'm going to use that. So I think I'll be able to use all of the prompts. And so usually I like to start with kind of my bigger pieces when I do my layouts. And so I'm just thinking these birds need something to stand on. And so maybe I'll layer these two pieces here since they seem to go quite well. And then the prompt was just a bit of green, so just like a bit of green is showing on there with the text on there. So I'll maybe just stand up these guys so that they're kind of standing on something there. And then this I was thinking could just go up here, kind of like the face is looking down on them or something. And then I was just thinking the sun, maybe I'll just put up here. Then the only thing I have left is the sticker with the crown on it. And I've used one of these before, it looks like. It's been a long time. I bought these at Tuesday morning several years ago. So I've had them in my stash for a while. And so I'm thinking, you know, one possibility is if I just do like 3 of them here off to the side. Or I could do 3 up here too. But I think, for sure I like those 3, you know, if I were to line up 3 right down here. And then I would decide if I like counterbalance them with another 3 up there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and glue these down, glue down the 3 stickers, and I'll come back and show you what my page looks like. So I've finished gluing down the majority of the items onto my page, and I'm just down to these little stickers that had the crowns on them for something royal that I was going to put onto my layout. And originally I had wanted to put the 3 on the side over here, but as you can see I kind of glued these too far apart, so that doesn't really work. And I do have a couple more cut out here if I want more. And you know, I was trying to decide, you know, it doesn't look too bad just to put 3 up here. So I could do that. But then I thought maybe I could do these across the bottom right here. And I think I like kind of how that looks. Or I could just put 1 in the middle too, and I really like that. And now is one of those times when I wish I could hear what you guys were thinking, but of course I can't. And so I just have to make a decision. And I don't like to stew over these layouts too long. This one went together, I think, fairly fast for some of them. I think maybe just because I had smaller pieces and there's just, it just went, for whatever reason, it went together a lot faster. So, like I said, I'm just trying to debate if I like that or that. And maybe I'll just do the 1 crown, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to glue that sticker down, and then I'll be able to call it good. And I usually glue my stickers down. I don't trust that long term that they're going to stay. And so I just glue them down with a little bit of tacky glue or whatever glue I'm using. So I'll just stick that right there. So I'm going to call that layout good, and I'm just going to double check to make sure that I have remembered everything. So something that emits heat, I have the sun. A pair of something, I have a pair of the cranes. A face, I have a face up here. Something royal, the little crown that I just glued down. A bit of green, there's a little bit of green showing. And then the bonus was text other than English or your native language, and so I have this old German paper text that came from a vintage book. So I'll hold that up so you guys can kind of check that out. It's really pretty writing on that text. I love it. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking some of your precious time and spending it watching my video today. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.